确定就应该是3。
오는데?
趴下面把裤外面弄，你从下面看那个死，我说那一个还
因为要签，他没有叫
Well, the weather has washed away most of the action today, but we're going to get a couple of games in here tonight from Gijang-Hyundai Dream Park Field 2 as the 2019 U-18 World Cup continues from the Republic of Korea. Tonight, it's a Group B matchup between the lone undefeated club Japan against the 2-1 Chinese Taipei team. Hi, everybody. With Craig Durham, I'm Jason Schwartz. So great to have you with us. What a scene here tonight. We're playing in foggy conditions. You can barely see the backdrop as we look beyond the outfield wall here at the Gijang-Hyundai Dream Park. Rain all day. There were 4 games earlier today postponed. Those will probably be played, they hope, on Wednesday, the scheduled rest day. But we're getting this one in here, and over on field 3, it's Nicaragua and Korea. See the conditions there, an 85% chance of rain, 22 degrees as Chinese Taipei takes the field. Let's jump into the starting lineup for the Japan squad. Again, the only 3-0 team in the tournament through 3 days. Leading off for Japan, it's the center fielder Keito Mori batting second, Ryusei Takeoka, Yuya Nirasawa hitting at third. At first base, Takaya Ishikawa, the DH, batting cleanup. Joe Endo hits fifth in left field, Toyo Kumada batting sixth at short, Shoma Sakashida batting seventh at second base, Haruki Yokoyama hits eighth in right field, Shinosuke Yamase, the catcher, rounds out the order for Yuji Nagata's squad. And Craig, you've seen Chinese Taipei here this week. Their defense lining up behind their starter, Yin Chung Wang. It looks a little like this.
Yeah, a lot like last night's defense. Defense played really well in a 5-4 victory. Low in left, Tsai in center, Lin in right field, Wang Xunhu is at third, Chu Zhongche at short, Li Haoyu at second, and Ho Hung Yo at first base. And Lin Chen Xun doing the catching tonight. Another left-handed starter. Last night, their left-handed starter for Chinese Taipei went 6 2/3, allowing just 1 hit in what was a really masterful 10 strikeout performance. And we'll see what we get tonight from Wang.
Japan, of course, last night, they beat the United States, ending the 4-time defending champions' 18-game winning streak at the U-18 World Cup. They try to improve tonight to 4-0. Meanwhile, Chinese Taipei can really make things interesting in Group B as they try to jump Japan back to 3-1. Our umpires for tonight's game, behind home plate, it's Tianyi Wang from China. At first base, Jae-man Yang from Korea. At second base, Stephen Gomes from Canada. He's the crew chief. And at third base, Rene Gonzalez of Panama. Here we go, ready for the first pitch as Wang delivers. It's in for a strike to Keito Mori. We are underway. Japan's bats came alive last night against the United States as they put up 16 runs, almost mercied the U.S. Mori looking at an even count now at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And the win for Chinese Taipei was huge as far as the standings are concerned. They came into the game tied at 1-1 with Spain, and though they had a lead really throughout the night, Spain made it interesting, scoring 3 times in the 8th, turning it into a 1-run game. We knew going into it, the winner of that game would have a really good chance to advance to the super round, so Chinese Taipei can really still afford to lose this game, and if they take care of business tomorrow against South Africa, they'll be able to advance.
And Japan now being the only undefeated team, almost assuring themselves a spot in the super round. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3, and a nice start for Chinese Taipei starter Wang. He fans Keito Mori. That brings Takeoka to the plate. Mori out in front of that breaking ball. Had a big night last night. 3 hits, going 3 for 6 with a triple. Japan got off to a fast start. They scored a run in the first and then 5 in the third to jump ahead and take a big lead. Now it's the third baseman Takeoka. He looks at a curveball down and away. Takeoka just 2 of 12 to start the U-18 World Cup. Looks at a pitch outside, jumps ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes. What a really cool backdrop we have for this game. You know, right now we're facing on our broadcast home plate. Pitch misses inside. Takeoka ahead at 3-0. You look out beyond center field here, and there's tall mountains just back of field 2, and you can't see it at all. That's a 4-pitch walk to the number 2 hitter, Takeoka. So a nice start for Wang as he struck out Mori, but then misses on 4 straight against the Japan third baseman. And here comes Yuya Nirasawa.
Yeah, none of those pitches even really competitive pitches after going right after Mori. So we'll see which Wang we get in a really pivotal at bat here in the top half of the first inning.
Yuya Nirasawa standing in. Another left-handed hitter. A lot of left-handed hitters in this Japan lineup. First pitch swung on and lifted out to left field. There's Lowe moving towards the line, and it's out number 2. You got to wonder, you know, the rain is one thing, and right now there's a light mist falling, but you got to wonder too what this sky here before it gets completely dark, if this sky will give the outfielders any problems on fly balls. And right there, no problem for Lowe, as Takaya Ishikawa, the DH, stands in. Takeoka at first after a 1-out walk. Breaking ball for strike 1. Wang seems to have turned the page after that walk. Ishikawa, the designated hitter, a right-handed hitter, has a pitch out. Throw down to first. Takeoka able to get back in. Mentioned the left-handed heavy lineup that Japan throws out there under Yuji Nagata, their manager. 6 out of the first 7 batters will bat left-handed against the lefty Wang. Japan, the road club for this game. Chinese Taipei, the home team. Breaking ball inside and another throw down to first. Takeoka back again. Japan hasn't done a whole lot of base running, base stealing in this tournament so far. Just 2 stolen bases in 3 attempts. And they're worried about Takeoka. Another throw. He's back in safely again. That's 3 straight attempts down to first base. Not something you see very often from Chen Chun-Lin, the catcher of Chinese Taipei. Big secondary lead, and Takeoka just back in, getting that dirty jersey early. Breaking ball low, runner going, the throw down. It's not in time, and there's a steal.
For all that work, Takeoka still winds up in scoring position. Good battle there, and the game within the game. And these 2 teams, though the players may not know each other well, the programs know each other very well. It's always a competitive game when you get Chinese Taipei and Japan. And so you'll see no shortage of pickoff throws and anything they can do to throw each other out of their respective games.
Yeah, look at that uniform. First pitch fouled away.
Yeah, that's not a first inning uniform, not at all.
Not the first pitch, rather the first pitch after the steal. It's 3-2 right now on Takaya Ishikawa. Joe Endo on deck.
Last time these two programs squared off was in the U-12 World Cup Championship, the final game. Chinese Taipei won it 4-0.
Here comes the payoff. Fouled away. Something we saw Japan do so well last night against the United States. Foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. Sure, you'll get them to swing and miss every once in a while. You'll get a strikeout, but so good at just fighting off pitches and staying alive. Runner at second with 2 down. Japan trying to jump ahead of Chinese Taipei here early. Wong from the stretch. Lefty comes home with his 17th pitch. It's a ground ball past the diving Wong and into left field. Around third, Takeoka. Throw coming in, it's cut off. And Japan picking up right where they left off last night. An RBI single for Takaya Ishikawa. They lead 1-0 in the top of the first.
Good effort at third from Wong, but snuck under the glove, and with the wet field, even though it's not real grass, it's turf, it's still wet, and it does still slow balls down. And no hesitation rounding third base from Ryusa Takeoka. And there's Japan doing what Japan does, stealing second with 2 outs and taking a 1-0 lead.
Now it's Joe Endo at the plate. Another lefty-lefty matchup. Swing to the first pitch, pops it up left side into foul ground. Wong giving chase, and he's able to make the play. Nice range there from the third baseman, Shun-He Wong. As he goes back to make the play, that ends the inning. But Japan taking advantage of a 1-out walk. They get a run on 1 hit. They leave 1, and at the end of half an inning, Japan 1, Chinese Taipei coming up.
그러면 수비에 들어갈 1번 수비위치를 말씀드리겠습니다. 투수 히로마 미야키, 투수 신노스케 야마세, 1루수 미야 미라사, 2루수 쇼마 사카시타, 3루수 니세이 타쿠오카, 유격수 토요쿠마타, 좌익수 조현두, 중간수 케이트 모리, 우익수 하루키 요코하마. 이상 일어난 수비에 들어간 1번 수비위치였습니다. We are pleased to introduce the defending team in the bottom of first inning. Pitcher.
A look at the lineup for Chinese Taipei. As you see the first baseman leading off, unusual that you see that first baseman atop the lineup. Chun Song-che bat second, Lo Wei-che third, and Lee Hao-yu in the cleanup spot. 3 Lins, Su-hao, Chen Shun, and Chung-hwa bat 5, 6, 7. Wong Shun-yu is 8th. Sai Cha-yen batting 9th.
Look at the manager there for Chinese Taipei, Sung Chao. He watches on as Japan's left-hander Hiroya Miyagi warms up. The defense for Japan, Joe Endo in left field, Keito Mori in center, Haruki Yokoyama, the right fielder. Left side of the infield, Ryusei Takeoka, Toyo Kumada. Team captain Shoma Sakashita at second, Yuya Nirasawa, the first baseman, and Shinosuke Yamase is behind the plate. So Japan with the early lead. And there is Miyagi, who warms up here, is making his second appearance at this U-18 World Cup. It's his first start. And Miyagi threw 1 inning last night. He finished the game for Japan. He threw the 9th inning. It's the second straight day that Japan has started a pitcher who threw the final inning of the previous day's game.
Could be a way to get somebody tuned up and ready for an outing the following night, kind of like throwing a bullpen, but obviously a little bit different in live game action.
Last night it was Yuki Hayashi, but he only went 1 time through the order. Leading off for Chinese Taipei, it's Hung Yo-ho. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Oh, the first baseman. Just missed on a pitch inside. And it's 2-0. Kicking the 2-0 home. And there's a strike. The 4 games postponed today. The early one Out of Group A, China and Netherlands. Netherlands was trying to even their record at 2-2 after picking up their first win yesterday. Here's a pitch up, chase to even the count at 2-2. Australia and Canada both 2-1. Got washed away today. Panama and the United States. U.S. was trying to bounce back after the tough loss last night. And then South Africa and Spain, the other one postponed. Still 2-2 after that foul ball. And again, one game is being played elsewhere in this complex. Nicaragua and Korea over on field 3. 2-2. Fouled off. See the field allows us to play here because the main field, all grass, all dirt on the infield. This field, pretty much all field turf except for around the bases, the plate, and the mound.
It's one of the key features of this complex. It's always ambitious when you try to squeeze 50 games into 9 days. We're going to have to play them in 10 games because of the rain today and play on the scheduled off day. But yeah, you really need any help you can get, and the field turf provides that in a big way. How about this leadoff at bat from Ho? Really forcing the pitch count up already, about to see his 9th pitch.
Miyagi kicks and fires, and a ground ball to third. Nice stop by Takeoka, and the throw offline. See how that's ruled. That was not an easy play for Takeoka.
Take the water off his hand, rubbing it on his pant leg. Anything you can do to stay dry tonight. And frankly, it's kind of a lost cause. You're going to get wet tonight. You're going to play in a wet uniform. And one advantage that these two teams have is that they played at the same time in the same conditions last night.
There's a bunt popped up, and that's going to be an easy catch for Yamase.
And I don't know if you had that in your game, but in the game here between Chinese Taipei and Spain, nearly every bunt attempt, if not every single bunt attempt, got popped up, and that could have something to do with the bats getting wet and the way the ball comes off it in the rain.
Like he just didn't keep the angle there on the bat. Dropped the head a little bit. Saw Japan lay down a few good bunts last night. Even with a big lead, they were still up and bunting. One out, runner at first. Here's a ground ball to second, could be two. Flip to second, one, the turn, double play. Sakashida to Kumada to Nirasawa, 4-6-3. And the bottom of the first is over as Japan works around the leadoff infield hit. We go to the second inning here on field 2. It's 1-0 Japan. Take a look at the fans taking in this ball game. A lot of people out there trying to stay dry. Umbrellas, ponchos, garbage bags, whatever you can find. Not raining all that hard right now, but a light mist falling. We were just talking about it. Last night, Japan played through this kind of mist all night. So did Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei won a good one last night against Spain. Spain kind of the surprise of the tournament. They've fallen just short in 2 of their games, in both of those games against these 2 teams. Spain lost their opener to Japan 4-2, and then last night almost came back. Leading off for Japan, the shortstop Toyo Kumada. They lead 1-0. And Yin Chung Wang back to work, falls behind 2-0.
Finish that thought on Spain is the lowest ranked team coming in terms of the world rankings at number 26. They have opened a lot of eyes, and they have had a really tough go of it. You mentioned the 2 great teams they've played, Chinese Taipei and Japan. Tomorrow they get the United States. Not going to be easy.
2 balls and a strike now. Well, what was striking was to see the difference between how Japan was able to handle the United States pitching last night and how they struggled with Spain's pitching in the opener. Now, some of that might have been opening game jitters, getting to an unfamiliar place and starting this tournament when everyone's been anticipating it for so long. But Japan really had a tough time with Spain's pitching. 3-2 now the count after that foul ball on Toyo Kumada. Sakashida and Yokoyama to follow here in the top of the second, with Japan up 1-0. Payoff pitch. Swinging a fly ball, foul right side. Ho chasing it, and it's the second baseman, Hao Yu-ho, who makes the catch. Looked like that was the first baseman's ball the whole way, but Hao Yu able to get over there and put it away for out number 1.
He came flying in and called off the first baseman at the last second. That's 2 really fine plays we've seen made in foul ground. The one to end the top of the first inning and the one to start the second here.
Now the batter, Shoma Sakashida, he takes a strike. There was a moment in last night's game where it looked like Shoma might have fractured his wrist. He took a hard fastball to the wrist, and you see it wrapped up there. It was actually wrapped up last night as well. Looks like he's got a little more wrapping on it, a little bit higher on the arm. But for a moment there, it looked like he couldn't move it. He was kind of hanging the arm out straight. Took a 90+ mile/hour fastball, a fastball around 150 kilometers to the arm. It's a ground ball to second. 1 second baseman grounds out to the other. 2 down for Haruki Yokoyama. But Sakashida was able to stay in the game and ended up coming up with his first hit of the tournament. His first 2 hits, actually. Had a couple of RBIs as well.
I couldn't believe that final score. 16-7, was it?
16-7, and the United States had to throw a runner out at the plate with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th just to get to the top of the 9th. Japan almost mercied them.
There was a little run there from the United States after falling behind 11-1. I remember all of a sudden it was 12-7, I believe, but Japan just did not let up.
United States got it as close as 4 yesterday, and it's actually the theme of the action yesterday on the main field here. Korea jumped out to an early lead on Canada. Canada ended up coming back, and they had a couple chances late. Korea held on. Here's a fly ball to... that stays on the infield. It's the second baseman, Hao Yu-ho, makes his second catch of the inning and actually is responsible for all 3 outs, 2 on pop-ups, 1 on a ground out. And after giving up a run in the first, Yin Chung Wang, he responds with a scoreless top of the second. We go to the last half of the second. Chinese Taipei trying to even the score as we move on here on field 2, 1-0 Japan. Take a look at the conditions we're playing under right now. A muddy first base area, muddy mound as well. Doing everything we can to get some games in today with the bad weather. Hiroya Miyagi, the Japan starter, back to work with Japan up 1-0. Moving on to the bottom of the second inning here against Chinese Taipei. With Craig Durham, I'm Jason Schwartz. So happy to have you along. Look at the dry Japan players under the cover of their first base dugout.
Bottom of second inning, Chinese Taipei offense. Batting full, second baseman.
Yeah, no way around it. It is going to be a tough night tonight, and there was a play on field one last night, kind of a controversial play at first base. It might have been muddied by the mud a little bit, and who knows if it becomes an issue. It hasn't been so far. That's the good news, and we like these two teams. Always a good test for both to be able to play under the best of conditions.
Leading off for Chinese Taipei, it's Hao Yu Lee, the second baseman. 1-1 the count on him, with Lin and Chen Shun Lin to follow. 2-1 now. One thing that I was surprised by last night was we didn't see players trying to kick the dirt off their spikes as much as you might expect. And there's a reason why you have spikes, obviously, on the bottom of the cleats, and obviously it helps a lot with the traction, but when you have just mud clumped on the bottom, it doesn't do much for you. Here's a fly ball out to deep right center field. That sends Morty back on the warning track to bring it in. And a loud first out here in the bottom of the second inning.
Jordan really did jump off the bat, and just as it was an evening ago, no wind whatsoever. The three flags lie limp on their poles high atop the batter's eye in center field. So to get one out tonight, you've really got to muscle it out and through the thick mist, and it'll really take a poke.
Here's Tzu Hao Lin, the DH. Strike one. Big curveball. Beautiful pitch there. Fastball for strike two. One thing that is notable about this Japan pitching staff, a lot of advanced breaking balls, some of the best in the tournament. It's a ground ball foul, another fastball. Miyagi tried to sneak one by him, and Lin able to make contact, albeit a little bit late. He stays alive. 20th pitch of the game coming up for Hiroya Miyagi. Another foul ball, able to fight off that big curveball. It seems like it's getting foggier here too.
Yeah, look out in right field. Just a tough night.
Pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. And there you go. Finally, we see somebody trying to kick the dirt off their spikes. As Lin steps out of the batter's box. You're not supposed to be able to step out of the batter's box, but I think home plate umpire Tianyi Wang will make an exception tonight. Breaking ball misses low, even to the count at 2-2. 1-0 Japan. Number 1 ranked team in the world. Last night defeated the number 2 ranked team in the world. Tonight they get number 3. So ground ball goes over to short. Kumada gobbles it up, throws to first. And a nice play on the other end by Nirasawa. 2 up and 2 down, and Miyagi's retired 4 in a row since the leadoff infield hit.
Batting 6, catcher Lin Chan-shin.
Great job there to come up and get that ground ball, get a good hop. There were some tough hops actually on the field last night on field 1. Saw a couple of bad hop base hits for the United States. Here's a drive to deep right field. That sends Yokoyama back. He jumps at the wall, and it's off his glove. It'll be a double for Chen Shun Lin, the catcher. And a 2-out base runner for Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure how to go after that ball.
Batting 7, right fielder Lee Jung-hwa.
did in fact get there, and I still can't tell if it hit his glove. I saw it the same way you did in real time, saw it bounce off the glove, but it may have hit the wall behind him.
The way it bounced, actually, seeing the replay, kind of leads me to believe that it hit the wall.
Yeah.
If it hit his glove, imagine.
We told you it's
foggy
foggy
out there. Yeah, exactly.
No joke.
And now a runner at second base. How talented Japan is at fighting up 2-strike pitches. Well, Chinese Taipei has done the same here. It almost feels like every batter that's come to the plate has had 2 strikes. Many of them have. No strikeouts yet for Miyagi. The little roller at the first baseline goes foul. Interesting, Miyagi there tried to pick that up before it went foul. He tried to get the runner coming up the line. They did roll foul. So we'll do it again at 0-2.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knew what he wanted to do, whether to let it go foul or pick it up. At first, it looked like he wanted it to go foul.
We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Japan has the 1-0 lead. They're looking to improve to 4-0 in the group stage. It's a curveball grounded to short. Kumada handles it, and a good throw to end the inning. A couple of nice plays on routine ground balls, but on a night like tonight, nothing is quite routine. And Japan stays ahead 1-0. Take a look there. Kumada had to handle the runner running in front of him as well. And a nice throw. Wetness not a factor there. So we go to the third. Japan 1, Chinese Taipei 0. One ball and strike. the line at the mound, caught. Wall run Japan rally, and for some time that was the difference in the game.
For those of you that haven't been watching throughout this tournament, there is a dedicated umpire to the video replay. He's in the room getting a look at it now, and he's advising the 4 umpires on the field here whether or not the call should be upheld or overturned. Our 5th umpire, in essence, is Josh Weschler from New Zealand, and he's the one that's ultimately going to make the call on whether or not the play stands. And they point first base, and the play stands. Wow.
Here's a look again. Tough to tell from that angle.
And when we slowed it down, and here's the one. It needs to be completely conclusive, and I'm not sure that that was completely conclusive enough to overturn the call. Maybe not 100%.
Now runner at first, and the 1-2, swing and a miss. It's strike 3.
Big first out, meanwhile, from Miyagi.
Well, what's happening here?
Confirming the count, perhaps.
Question here, Japan thinks they have a strikeout. Chinese Taipei thinks they don't. He swung and missed at the curveball on that play.
I think it might have just been as simple as losing track of the count and all the other pieces of the puzzle.
The umpires are going to confer right now.
We were looking at a 1-2 count on the video board. I think it was a 1-2 count too.
And again, on that play with the double steal there was a swing and a miss that started the play on the pitch. A little bit surprising too that Chinese Taipei running that play would have their batters swing at the pitch. Did work out for him ultimately. We're tied right now 1-1, and the umpires are getting busy here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Words nobody ever wants to hear or say at a ball game.
The umpires confirmed that was strike 3.
타자 좌익수 노이지에
Batting third, left fielder, Lowe Jie.
So a runner at first base, now 2 out. A couple of strikeouts for Hiroya Miyagi here in the inning. Number 3 hitter in the order, Wei Che Lo, stands in. Throw goes over to first, Ho back standing up. Breaking ball, misses low. Ball 1. Low grounded into a double play in his first at bat. Chinese Taipei has tied the game here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And now we've got time called as the home plate umpire, Xianyi Wang, saying that the dirt around home plate just needs to be tended to. Too muddy, too wet right now. Let's see if they get the grounds crew to come out. Miyagi's going to throw with his 3rd baseman to stay loose here. Doing everything that we can to get this game in here tonight. And it has been a challenge. A lot of people having to work really hard to make this happen.
And there's a built-in time after the 5th inning where we go to a break. Tonight it'll be a 5-minute break for the grounds crew to get out there and do some work. I wonder if we weren't being a little bit too optimistic to wait until the 5th to address the home plate circle. Might have been a reasonable idea to have somebody, even just with a little raking after, not necessarily every inning, but maybe after every couple of innings, because you're right, they've just let it go. And this is kind of uncharted territory, so we sit here and talk like, well, we have a great idea. Nobody knows. Look at first base. You can hardly find it. It took me a moment to know what we were looking at there. Looks like a scene from the surface of Mars. But this is tough, and you just have to throw heaps of credit at everybody who's been working around the clock, literally, to keep this field as playable as possible. And I have no doubt we'll get this game in one way or another.
And last night, too, you mentioned the 5-minute break. It was longer than 5 minutes last night. They really went to town on the dirt around the bases. And even then, when we did start to play, they had forgotten to wipe off the bases because, like we just saw, that's what the bases looked like in the games last night. You could hardly see them. Same with home plate. So then after the 6th inning, they came out and worked on the bases. So we're going to take a break here as they work on home plate. Chinese Taipei has scored a run in the bottom of the 3rd to tie the game. They have a runner at first with 2 outs, and we're trying to get home plate ready to continue this ball game. Back in a moment from Gijang-Hyundai Dream Park and the U-18 World Cup. All right, we continue on here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-1 the score. And taking a little bit of a break there to make the dirt around home plate just a little more comfortable for these players. Chinese Taipei has tied the game here in the bottom of the third inning. Right now at the plate, it's Wei Che Lo. He's ahead of the count at 2-1. Runner at first base with 2 down. Hiroya Miyagi continues to work here, about to make his 45th pitch of his start tonight. 2-1. Chop towards third. This is going to be tough. Takeoka fires. Got him. Nice play by Ryusei Takeoka. And that gets Japan out of the bottom of the third. But Chinese Taipei pulls off a stolen base of home to tie it up. Got a brand new ball game headed to the top of the fourth inning. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Japan. Takeoka handling that one nicely. It's 1-1 here in Gijang.
사이초 1번 공격 3번 타자 1루수 유야 미라사와.
Top of the fourth inning, Japan offense. Batting third, first baseman, Yuya Murasawa.
1-1 heading to the top of the fourth inning. Japan trying to answer after Chinese Taipei ties it up. Yuya Nirasawa, Takaya Ishikawa, and Joe Endo for the team from Japan. 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the lineup to face Yin Chung Wong. His first pitch, swung on and fouled back. We got ourselves a ball game here with Craig Durham. I'm Jason Schwartz. Day 4 of the group stage. 4 games postponed due to rain, but we're getting a couple in here tonight. Next pitch, slap foul, 0-2.
Everybody coming together and just willing this game to happen here tonight.
A lot of hard work, a lot of moving parts. Pitch in the dirt, 1-2. Any other WBSC events that you can recall being affected by weather like this one?
Oh, like 2 weeks ago at the U-12 in Tainan, Taiwan. That one, the U-23 last October in Barranquilla. Yeah, they just always seem to rain, and that's why there's that day in the middle. It's for rest, but you don't always get a lot of rest.
As a strikeout and a throw to first to complete it. Second strikeout of the game for Wong. The first one since he struck out Kato Mori to open the game. One up, one down in the top of the fourth inning. Takaya Ishikawa, who had an RBI single his first time up, digs in. That RBI single back in the first, the only hit for Japan so far. Wong, the wind and the pitch. Breaking ball across for strike one.
You mentioned that RBI single. It was the end result of a well-manufactured inning, well-manufactured run with the walk, a steal, and that two-out hit.
No balls and 2 strikes now. Both teams have manufactured their runs. Correction on the scoreboard. Scoreboard has 1-1. The count is 0-2 on Takaya Ishikawa. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes as Ishikawa looks at one low.
Good take right there. Good 2-strike pitch. It wasn't a waste at all.
A couple of very disciplined teams at the plate we're seeing. The 1-2. Swinging a fly ball towards the wall in left field. This one back, the jump, and it's off the wall. Ishikawa heads for 2. He's there. He's got Japan's 2 hits tonight. This one a 1-out double. And Japan looking to get the run right back here in the top of the fourth as Joe Endo comes to the plate.
Batting fifth, left fielder Joe Endo.
Went down to get it. That one about ankle high and really carried well. Tough wall here. It's padded nicely, but it's a high wall all the way around, so it's hard to hit it out. Can't rob a home run at this ballpark.
No, and you probably noticed that there was some mesh netting above what looks like the top of the wall. It's 16 feet in all, 8 feet of solid wall, and then 8 feet of mesh netting atop it. That was added on, that secondary level of netting, because this isn't a big ballpark and these are some big boys playing in this tournament, so we didn't want to see a home run derby. And that one, for example, would have been gone without the mesh netting.
Saw Japan hit 1 home run in last night's game. Haruki Yokoyama, the right fielder, went deep. Here's a pitch in the dirt. Nice stop by Lin. Junya Nishi hit a couple of home runs earlier in this tournament for Japan. They've got 3 total.
He hit 2 in the same game. Crushed him against South Africa.
It was a 19-0 win for Japan, in which they no-hit the team from South Africa. 1-1. 1-2 now. Joe Endo fouled out to third his first time. He's got Ishikawa out at second base. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Japan. They've left 1. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for Chinese Taipei. They've left 2 on base. Wong, the runner going, throw to third, and he's out. Ishikawa with 1 out, trying to go early and trying to catch the pitcher Wong off guard. And you look there at Yuji Nakata, he does not look pleased by what just transpired. Well executed by Wong, made a good throw to third, and the tag applied there at third base. Now 2 out, nobody on. As Endo fouls one away. Sometimes you go early, you can catch a pitcher off guard, force him into a balk, make him throw it away, but we've been talking about the way these 2 teams execute. Nice play there. 1-2 on Endo. He takes low.
I wonder if Ishikawa was going on his own there, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to send the cleanup man. Well, you've got a left-handed batter up from second to third, already in scoring position. We've already seen no hesitation sending runners in from second on any ball hit to the outfield. So that might have just been a guy trying to do too much.
Endo sees a fastball blown by him, and Chinese Taipei able to get out of the top of the fourth. Maybe a base running mistake, certainly a strange play as Japan tries to steal third after the Ishikawa double. They come up empty in the top of the fourth. Chinese Taipei with a chance to take their first lead. They come up in the bottom of the fourth when we come back.
사회말 대만 공격 4번 타자 유루수 리하위.
Bottom of fourth inning, Chinese Taipei offense. Batting fourth, second baseman Li Hao-Ri.
1-1 on to the bottom of the fourth inning. Good one here. Couple of title hopefuls out of Group B, Japan and Chinese Taipei. Japan, the only undefeated team remaining in the tournament. They're being tested here by Chinese Taipei. First pitch from Hiroya Miyagi, who's out for a fourth inning, is swung on and missed. Miyagi has been very efficient with his pitches. 46 now for him. 33 of the 46 have been strikes. Check swing. He went around, according to home plate umpire Xianyi Wang of China. And Miyagi ahead of him at 0-2, looking for his third strikeout. Kicking the pitch home. Missed outside. Four, 5, and 6 at the plate for Chinese Taipei. This is Hao Yu Lee. The 1-2. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hard ground ball up the middle. Sakashina to his right, gets the out at first. You know, it's striking to me as we've seen the conditions. We've seen shots of what the dirt looks like at home plate. We've seen the bases buried in mud. We've seen the cleats covered in dirt. But we really haven't seen any of the players have the ball slip out of their hands or slip on the field turf or any of that. First pitch here to Hao Lin is swung on and missed, 0-1.
Perhaps most impressive to that point is the pitchers, who have just come out and dealt tonight on both sides, throwing tons of strikes. Both pitch counts really low considering where we are in the game, as that's number 52 with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Pitch count's just not a concern for either starter, and credit these kids for just playing through it.
Fastball up, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, wouldn't you think you'd lose the feel for the ball a little bit?
At least at some point, and obviously still have plenty of baseball left to be played. Fortunately, the rain really has let up, it seems. Breaking ball just missed. Count evens up 2-2. Good looking pitch there. Tough take. And Yamase holding the glove there just a moment longer. Lin fights one off. Do it again at 2-2. Miyagi kicks and fires. A pop-up foul off to the left. Chinese Taipei played some friendly games with the United States before this U-18 World Cup to get ready. The U.S. going to visit Chinese Taipei. They were trying to get acclimated too to the time difference. Another close pitch misses. That's 2 now, and Miyagi has not gotten. Japan, the high school national team in this tournament, they played the college national team in a couple of games back in Japan before heading here. Fastball misses high, it's ball 4, and Yamase kind of has a little smile on his face as if to say, look, we had a couple of pitches there that you had them. And now that's the first walk of the game for Hiroya Miyagi. A couple of close takes there for Tu-Hao Lin, but he's on at first base. And now it's Chen-Shun Lin with a runner on. The only other walk in this game, we saw that one in the top of the first, and it came around to score. Let's see what Chinese Taipei does with this one. That was a walk to Japan's Ryusei Takeoka. He ended up scoring Japan's lone run.
About those friendlies you mentioned between the United States and Chinese Taipei prior to the start of this tournament, we were talking with Jack Leggett, the American manager, before the tournament started, and I remember him almost pausing for a moment to say, you know, that Chinese Taipei team is really good. And I don't know if he was caught by surprise by how good they were, but I think he was really glad that he took his team there, not only, as you said, to get acclimated to the time zone, but to get a look at one of the better teams in this tournament. And there should be no surprise that this game's so close here, and the Chinese Taipei is right up there at 2-1.
Chinese Taipei, the number 4 ranked team in the world, coming in. Japan number 1, United States number 2, the host nation Korea number 3. 2-0 the count, runner at first, 1 away. Pickoff throw to first. Hiroya Miyagi now at 60 pitches for the game. Another throw over. Lin back on easily. Chen-Shun Lin at the plate. The 2-0. There's a strike at the knees. Good fastball there from Miyagi. Perfectly placed.
Wondering what he needed to do to get a strike called. Now we'll see if he can use that to get back into this inning.
2-1 is popped up foul back at the plate. Evens the count at 2-2. Over on field 3, the other game being played tonight. The host nation Korea leads Nicaragua 3-0. Meanwhile, after that foul ball, Chen-Shun Lin wants to go spray some the sticky stuff on his bat, improve his grip as he steps back in against Miyagi. Miyagi being forced to work hard here in this 4th. Throw back over to first base. It's thrown over now a few times.
When you're not stirring coffee.
Throw back again. Another thing too with the dirt, we obviously saw the way the jerseys get dirty when you slide. Here's a fly ball into foul ground. It's a pop up to first. Nirasawa makes the catch. Out number 2. Not easy to slide on dirt like this.
출발타자 우익수 윤정호.
Slows you down a little bit. You don't quite slide as well. not like a slip and slide type of action.
Except when you're diving for a fly ball in the outfield or in foul ground, because then you really do get across the turf. It's when you're in those dirt patches.
Right, on the field turf, you definitely slide a little bit. First pitch here, up and in. Chung-Hwa Lin at the plate. The right fielder for Chinese Taipei, 0 for 1. He grounded out to shortstop his first time. That one in for a strike. Miyagi placing that fastball all over the strike zone. Up and in, down and in. Low and outside. The 1-1. Another good spot, but another pitch that he doesn't get from the home plate umpire. He is just barely missing. You can tell Miyagi's putting it right where he wants every single time. 2-1, here it comes. And a ground ball back towards the mound. Miyagi handles it easily. Throw to first ends the inning. No runs, no hits, a walk and 1 man left. On to the 5th inning here in Gijang. Japan and Chinese Taipei tied 1-1.
올 제1분 공격 6번 타자 유격수 쿠마다.
Top of the 5th inning, Japan offense. Batting 6th, shortstop, Toyo Kumada.
Toyo Kumada leading off for Japan. Welcome back. Going to the top of the 5th inning here, 1-1 our score. First pitch here to Toyo Kumada. This is just off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Peeled down to third base, no swing. Kumada, 0 for 1. He fouled out to the second baseman his first time. Japan sitting on just 2 hits. There's a ground ball, sharply hit but foul. Yin Chung Hwang has done a nice job for this Chinese Taipei club, looking for a signature win in this tournament. You look over at Group A, tons of parity through the first 3 days. 4 teams in Group A are 2-1. 1-1. This is outside. Look over at Group B. Japan's the team in control at 3-0, but if Chinese Taipei were to win this one, you'd have 2 teams at 3-1 and the United States 2-1. There's a line drive foul. Kumada's turned on a couple pitches nicely in this at-bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kumada was hitting .500 coming into this game through the first 3 games of the tournament with 7 RBIs. 4 walks, no strikeouts, a .643 on base percentage. Takes a breaking ball away, doesn't chase, and it's a full count. Here comes the payoff. Swinging a fly ball to left. Playable for low. Towards the line, one down.
You mentioned those 7 RBIs for Kumada. That's second on his team. And I want to go back to last inning when you talked about the 2 home runs hit by Junya Nishi. I didn't realize until you said that the only game Junya Nishi has played in this tournament was the game against South Africa, where he drove in 8 runs. He's the team leader, and he drove in those 8 runs in 4 consecutive innings, including the 2 home runs. So that just shows you how deep this team is, that the guy leading the team in home runs and RBIs has only appeared as a hitter in 1 game. That's how good that bat is off the bench.
Here's another fly ball out to left field. Lowe moves over to his left, puts it away. Quickly 2 down here. Going back to something we said about Hiroya Miyagi in the last half inning, as he was missing so closely on a couple of those pitches. Both of these left-handers are putting the ball exactly where they want to. Feels like every pitch out of the strike zone is purposefully placed there. So pitch is taken for a high strike here by Haruki Yokoyama. That was Shoma Sakashita, by the way, who just flew out. And now Yokoyama 0 for 1 at the plate. A 1 pitch, swinging a fly ball to left. Gonna see 3 fly balls to left here. Yes, we do, as Lowe started back, now has to race in. He's laughing about it as he comes back in. Didn't read that one well, but makes up the ground, and a quick inning for Yin Chung Wong. And we are done with 4.5 here on field 2. We've got a good one, a pitcher's duel as Wong and Miyagi are dealing. Keep it locked.
말 그만 공격 8번 타자 3루수 왕시현호.
Bottom of 5th inning, Chinese Taipei offense. Batting 8th, third baseman Wang Xun-ho.
1-1, welcome back. Bottom of the 5th inning, Chinese Taipei with Xun-Hu Wang at the plate. First pitch swinging, fouls it away. 69th pitch of the game for Hiroya Miyagi. Chinese Taipei's made him work a little bit the last couple of innings, but he has been sharp. Very well pitched game. Breaking ball drops in. Mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, but Miyagi pitched in relief last night. He threw the final inning in Japan's 16-7 win over the United States. Ground ball to short, 1 hop. Kumada throws low to first, but a friendly hop. Narasawa. Hold on. Take a look at the replay here. Looks like the runner was called safe. And the first baseman had it come out of his glove and may not have had his foot on the bag either.
Batting 9th, center fielder.
I think his heel was lifted. And that's kind of a careless error to make on, well, what at first kind of looked like a routine ground ball, then became a lot harder when it was spiked down in the dirt. I think that'll be, yeah, it's a tough call in terms of who the error goes to, 3 or 6. probably 6 for the throw. But in any event, a big break for Chinese Taipei.
Throw is right there on the hop, though, too.
I know. And I just think it might have been a case where all the mud finally had an impact. Maybe the heel feels something behind it, and it's a big block of clay and mud instead of the base.
Batter showing bunt as the throw goes to first. Cha-Yen-Sai is at the plate. Japan scored first in the first. Chinese Taipei tied it in the third. Fastball strike, and Miyagi jumps ahead 0-2. There's no panic in this left-hander, Hiroya Miyagi. He has handled every situation really superbly, and we should note that Chinese Taipei's only run came on a stolen base of home. It's a breaking ball, it just misses. Interesting too that both these lefties in this game pitching so well, very similar in their repertoire, in their deliveries, in their velocities, and even in the way they attack these hitters.
Both remind me a lot of last night's starter for Chinese Taipei, Lin Yu-min, who was like these two, putting the ball exactly where he wanted all night.
1-2 pitch. Evens the count at 2-2.
He didn't give up a hit until his 6th inning of work. Wound up going 6 2/3. It was just a near perfect start.
Another throw to first. Even with 2 strikes, Sai, the batter, showing bunt. Very intense look on the face of Yuji Nagata. Pitch fouled away. That foul ball draws a whistle. Maybe a heads up to the people in the concourse.
It's gotta be, yeah, at this point.
Hey, foul ball coming your way.
All I've got on it. Only pattern I've noticed.
And as the person blowing the whistle, I don't know that he's even with Chinese Taipei. He's not on their dugout side. He's standing just to the left of the Japan dugout.
There to protect those in the concourse.
2-2, swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Hiroya Miyagi. His 3rd of the game. Good fastball. Good swing as well. Interesting, he was showing bunt first. It kind of seemed like because he was showing bunt, it forced him to be a little bit late, and you can understand why.
Yeah, he wasn't cocked and ready at all.
Back to the top of the order, here's Hung-Yo Ho. He's 2 for 2. Swings and misses at a first pitch breaking ball. Ho was part of the run scoring play for Chinese Taipei in the 3rd. It was 1st and 3rd. Ho took off for second base, got himself into a rundown. Swings here, grounds one, or lines one back through the middle, off the pitcher's glove, and then thrown away. It's into right field. Runners will advance to 2nd and 3rd. And Chinese Taipei in business. Will probably be the 2nd error of the inning on Japan.
Perhaps the 2nd on Toyo Kumada, who had more time than he may have realized after the ball deflected off the glove and came to him. He panicked, it looked like, a little bit, and really wasn't even close with that throw. Watch how high it was. And into right field.
Honestly, Japan started that play lucky. Shot back to the pitcher, deflected over to Kumada, and they would have had a chance for an easy out. Just throws it away. Nagata comes out to talk to his team momentarily. Now walks back off the field. Chinese Taipei with runners at second and third, and only one out for Sung Chu Chun. A shortstop, 0 for 2. He's bunted into an out, popped a bunt to the catcher, and struck out swinging.
Really a must-score situation. You can't let a Japan team get away with making a couple mistakes like that.
Breaking ball, strike one. We'll see how Miyagi responds.
Had Chinese Taipei made the same mistakes, I can't think of a Japan team that wouldn't capitalize. That's what makes this program world #1. They always capitalize on their opponent's mistakes.
Breaking ball low. Count evens up. Chung to start this tournament, 3 for 13 coming in, 1 double, couple of RBIs. Big spot here as he shoots one foul. Late on a fastball from Miyagi. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miyagi up to 82 pitches now, so we're not seeing Japan handle their pitching staff like we saw them do it last night, where they brought in 5 different pitchers in a 16-7 win. Tonight, they're hanging with the starter Miyagi until his pitch count gets too high. Probably won't let him throw more than 104 pitches. Once you do that, you have to sit for 4 days. Anything fewer, you can come back after 1 day of rest. 1-2. Miyagi kicks the pitch. Just off the outside. Count evens up. Maybe a little bit low there as well. 2-2 the count. Kick and the pitch home. Breaking ball fouled off. Nice job there by Chung, just fighting it away.
A really defensive swing, but that's all it had to be.
Big spot in what has been a great game to this point. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, tied at 1. 2-2 the pitch. Slap foul. Chinese Taipei lost to the United States 8-1. And sees that U.S. team fall to this Japan team 16-7. 2-2. Check swing. He did not go. They appeal. No swing, full count. Good call there. First base is open here. A couple of Japan errors have set up Chinese Taipei with runners at second and third. Kick in the 3-2. Breaking ball, got him. A huge second out. A 4th strikeout of the game for Miyagi, the first one looking. He gets a call from the home plate umpire from China.
Knees were buckling, foot was in the bucket. That's just the best curveball I think we've seen from the young Mr. Miyagi all night.
Not out of the woods just yet. Here's Wei Che Lo. Another big curve. That one just misses. Pushing 90 pitches now. He's at 88, 59 for strikes, 29 balls. Second and third, 2 out, the 1-0. Swing and a fly ball, left center field. Morty on the run. Same with Endo, and it's over his head into the wall. 2 runs are gonna score. Chinese Taipei with the lead. A double for Wei Che Lo. 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Joe Indo didn't take a great route. He actually, I think, could have gotten to that ball, but he was running more sideways than he was deep, and then had to reroute it. Wound up falling kind of right behind him, right where he had been.
He takes a slightly steeper angle there. He might have had a shot. Now Yuji Nagata coming out, and we may see a change. Nagata coming out saying something to the home plate umpire there. They're intentionally walking the batter Hao-Yu Lee.
Designated hitter Lin Zi-hao.
That'll bring up Su-Hao Lin. An intentional walk puts runners at first and second. What a huge hit for Wei-Che Lo. Gives him 3 RBIs now in the U-18 World Cup, his first extra base hit. Now 3 for 10. 2 on and 2 out, 3-1 Chinese Taipei. Foul ball up the first base side. Nothing in 1.
Think about the first 4 at-bats of this inning. Ground ball to short, should have been an out, it's an error. Strikeout, another ground ball to short, albeit a deflection off the glove, but very easily could have been an out on its own. And then another strikeout. So you could say that Miyagi, in essence, could have gotten the first 4 batters. Instead, he has to throw all these extra pitches, and maybe to the point where his night may be over.
Well, he's hit 90 pitches now, and if there is a change here, it would be mid at bat. We got a new pitcher coming in, it seems. Chinese Taipei has scored twice. They lead 3-1. They still have 2 on here with 2 out. Tell you about the new Japanese pitcher on the other side. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1, Chinese Taipei.
이번에 선수 교체가 있겠습니다. 투수 준야 니시.
There will be a change of player. Pitcher Junya Nish.
Junya Nishi, the new pitcher for Japan. Same batter for Chinese Taipei. It's Su-Hao Lin. He fouls it away, and now it's 0-2. 90 pitches even for the starter, Hiroya Miyagi. Let down by his defense in this inning. 2 errors, both charged on the shortstop, Toyo Kumada. Led to 2 unearned runs. Chinese Taipei with a 3-1 lead. They've got 2 on here with 2 out. Nishi fires. Swing and a miss. And on 2 pitches, he gets Japan out of the inning. But the damage is done. Chinese Taipei scoring twice to break the 1-1 tie. 2 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors. The big hit, Wei-Che Lo double. And Japan coming up in the top of the sixth. They trail for the first time tonight.
이번 타자 타이스 김현대. U-18.
Batting third, left fielder.
Welcome back here. Gijang-Hyundai Dream Ballpark, Field 2. We've had a good one so far between Chinese Taipei and Japan. Taking our break after the 5th inning to tend to the field and make sure, well, tonight a little bit more than normal here as far as the groundwork is concerned. Usually it's just to rake up the area around the bases, redraw the lines, but tonight with the wet conditions, they've got to make sure that it's dry enough around these bases, and it looks like the 5-minute break wasn't quite enough. We've had a good one here so far as we look at tournament officials taking a look at the dirt along with the umpires as well. Right now, after 5, we've got a 3-1 lead for Chinese Taipei. We should note 5 innings are in the books. It is now an official game, and if for any reason they are unable to continue playing, they could call this a final.
And that's why you see the technical commissioners out there along with the crew chief. And you can see in the foreground the rain's falling again. It's not pouring, but it's definitely raining harder than it was a few minutes ago. Kind of just misting out there. And
so how massive the 2 unearned runs that scored for Chinese Taipei there in the bottom of the 5th inning to break that 1-1 tie as we go back and just look for a moment at what's happened in this ball game. In the top of the 1st inning, Japan got on the board, a 1-out walk to Ryusei Takeoka. He walked and then stole second. Takaya Ishikawa then singled home a run to give Japan a 1-0 lead. Chinese Taipei would tie it on a stolen base of home in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So great pitching from Chinese Taipei's Min Chung Wang and Japan's Hiroya Miyagi. Then in the bottom of the 5th inning, a leadoff error by the shortstop Toyo Kumada. Then with 1 out, a line drive back to the mound, deflected off the pitcher Miyagi's glove over to short. Kumada trying to get a force at second, threw the ball away. And that error put runners at 2nd and 3rd, and then Wei Che Lo with the 2-run double to break the 1-1 tie. And now not only are we dealing with the dirt, but now we're dealing with rain as we take a break. And during our break, the rain starts to fall here, which is going to make things a bit more difficult. Tough to tell from our vantage point here inside the booth how hard it is raining, but definitely more than just the light mist that we have been seeing for most of the game.
Yeah, that's not a scene we have witnessed yet tonight, that steady, hard rain falling down. And you have to take your cues where you can. As you said, we can't really gauge it that well where we are, but they showed that shot of the crowd a moment ago. Folks buttoning up, putting the hoods up on top of their heads, part of the ponchos, umbrellas opening throughout the ballpark. And I don't know, things don't look too promising as far as continuing this game, and it's almost miraculous that this should happen after the game becomes official, after it goes 5 complete. And like you said, not even tied after 5 anymore because of those unearned runs. Now, where this game might impact the standings going forward, as you mentioned, Japan, the only unbeaten team coming into play today at 3-0. They're almost definitely, if not definitely, I got to look at the scenarios, but I think we can safely say they're in to the super round. Should Chinese Taipei win this game and move to 3-1, it would be very safe to say that they're going to move on as well, as Japan takes on Panama tomorrow and Chinese Taipei takes on South Africa tomorrow, 2 teams that have struggled to earn victories. So there's a very good chance that both of these 2 teams are in. The win, should it end up being a win for Chinese Taipei, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves, we're just using that for argument's sake, but should they win this game, it wouldn't impact how the games get played in the super round, but if the super round ends with a tie between these 2 teams, that's where the head-to-head victory might come into play. And now you can hear it even. It's pouring.
Who would have possibly thought that after 4 days at this U-18 World Cup here in Gijang, after 4 days, the one unknown as far as the 3rd team out of Group B to the super round would be the United States.
How about that, huh?
The USA does have a couple of games in which they are favored moving forward for sure, as they were supposed to play Panama today. Panama has struggled. They're 1-2. And then they get a game
against Spain tomorrow.
Against Spain as well. Look at the rain coming down. So we're going to take a break here. Chinese Taipei 3, Japan 1. We're through 5. We're going to see if we can play any more baseball.
Might even go into a rain delay.
야, 저 베이스 비 맞춰서 없애게 엎어놓지 말고 열어놔. 비 맞게. 베이스 저거. 비 맞춰. 그거 끝났으면 여기 와 있어야지. 거기서 떠들고 있어 계속. 아닙니다. 뭐가 아니야. 야, 너 이렇게 해야지. 때릴 거 아니야. 저거 하냐?
누가 지금 그냥 계속 대기하고 있는데? 5회 말 딱 끝났어. 그래, 아까. 그냥 계속 대기. 저쪽 봐가 대기일 거야.
시합
아니면
야, 이거 붙여놓은 문제야.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta wait for lower.
No matter what.
Now, you can make it. At this point,
What do you need here, Frida? Yeah. Blue cheese. Okay. 결정할 예정입니다. 이 정도가 멘트죠. 이 구장에서 먼저 결정 내부 확인한 다음에 정보장 방송해야 되니까 방송은 조속히 결정한다 이런 식으로 얘기해주고 내가 지금 가볼게.
이거 B구장입니다. B구장입니다. B구장. A구장 아닙니다. 아, C구장 아닙니다. 방금 안내 드림볼파크 1구장입니다.
방송하세요.
안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 우천으로 인해 경기가 중단되었습니다.
여부는 주최 측에서 상의 후 8시 59분에 알려드리도록 하겠습니다. The game has been suspended because of heavy rain. We will let you know at 8:59 after discussion of WBSC. 우천으로 인해 경기가 중단되었습니다. 여부는 주최 측에서 상의 후 8시 59분에 알려드리겠습니다. The game has suspended because of heavy rain. We will let you know at 8:59 after discussion of WBSC.
Welcome back to Gijang-Hyundai Dream Ballpark, Field 2. We have been waiting through a rain delay. Just over 60 minutes here since the rain delay was called, and you just saw it right there. The meeting at the plate between the two managers and the umpires have determined that there will not be a significant change that would allow us to continue playing this game, and so it does end as a final score, 3-1. Chinese Taipei with the huge victory, a massive win, and just incredible the timing of their two go-ahead runs as well, as they scored in the bottom of the 5th inning just before the rains really came down. And you see there that the two teams meeting, the Japanese team so disappointed by this result. Welcome back in with Craig Durham. I'm Jason Schwartz. You can certainly understand for Japan, they wanted to wait this out as long as they possibly could, but again, the field conditions, the rain's still falling, still wet, no signs of letting up.
No, and as you mentioned, there's no way anybody could have predicted that would be the last play of note, that 2-run single after those 2 E6s in the bottom of the 5th inning. And this just throws a whole lot of chaos onto the top of the Group B standings, where now, going into day 5, there's only 2 teams in Group B that have played 4 games, and Chinese Taipei is in first place with a 3-1 record.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei matching Japan at the top of Group B. There is no longer an undefeated team in this tournament, as Japan falls to 3-1. An incredibly disappointing finish for them, especially considering that the 2 winning runs scored there in the bottom of the 5th inning, thanks to a couple of errors, 2 unearned runs, and then the huge 2-run double to bring those runs home from Wei Che Lo. Incredibly clutch moment there from the number 3 hitter in Chinese Taipei's order. And so we have got a tournament here that is wide open now, as we have seen the United States beat Chinese Taipei in Group B. We've seen Japan beat the United States, and now we've seen Chinese Taipei beat Japan. So talk about a 3-headed monster atop Group B going into the final day of the group stage.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be exciting to see how the super round plays out, but pretty much you can count on seeing these 2 teams, and with one more win, the United States will join that club. And we hope the rain goes away so we can bring you all of the scheduled games, 6 of them tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m.
6 scheduled games tomorrow starting at 10. Again, the final here, a huge win for Chinese Taipei, and you can see they're excited about it. Chinese Taipei beats Japan 3-1. They are now 3-1, and as Craig just said, on top of Group B. So that'll do it for our coverage from day 4 of the U-18 World Cup here in Gijang. For Craig Durham, I'm Jason Schwartz. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, our coverage begins tomorrow morning back here at 10 a.m. Hopefully the weather allows for a full day of U-18 World Cup baseball. Until then, good night, everybody, from Gijang.